If you're building a fintech app that handles any kind of card payment, security isn't just some feature you can tack on at the end. It's the absolute foundation of your business, and more importantly, your customers' trust. So today, we're going to break down the playbook for building a fintech app that's PCI DSS compliant. That's the payment card industry data security standard, right from the very first line of code.
So, why is this so incredibly critical? Well, let's put a number on it. According to Verizon's Big Data Breach Investigations report, a staggering 84% of data breaches involve payment card data. That makes your app's payment flow the #1 target for criminals. This isn't some hypothetical risk, folks. It's the central battleground where your company's entire reputation is on the line.
And this quote really gets to the heart of it all. It's so easy to see compliance as this annoying burden, just a checklist you have to power through. But the smart way to think about it is as a strategic framework, a blueprint, really, for building a product that your customers, your partners, and the banks will actually trust with their money. Okay, so if you're going to build that trust, you have to know the rules of the game. And that brings us to the core of this whole system, the PCI data security standard itself. Let's really dig into what it is and, more importantly, who it applies to.
To put it simply, PCI DSS is the rulebook for keeping payment data safe. Think of it as a baseline of technical and operational controls that all the major card brands, Visa, MasterCard, you name it, came together to create to prevent fraud and data breaches. Now, it's not technically a law, but if you want to process card payments, compliance is completely non-negotiable. End of story. So who's on the hook for this? The answer is really, really simple. If your app stores, processes, or transmits card information, even for a split second, then PCI DSS applies to you. Think of it this way. If that sensitive data touches your system, the rules touch you. And that covers the whole gamut. Digital wallets, buy now, pay later platforms, subscription services, marketplaces, all of them. Now we're getting to the single most important concept in PCI compliance. This is the one thing you absolutely must understand before you even think about writing a single line of code. It's the golden rule, defining your perimeter, or what everyone in the industry just calls your scope. You have to ask yourself this one crucial question: where does sensitive cardholder data actually touch our systems? And you have to be honest. Think about every point of contact, the user input forms, the mobile SDKs that connect your app to other services, your APIs, your backend servers, and yeah, even your system logs. This is where so many startups get into huge trouble. They accidentally let this data splash onto too many systems, and that just dramatically blows up the complexity and the cost of compliance. What you're looking at here are two totally different worlds. On the left, you've got the high-risk nightmare architecture where raw card data is just flying around your backend, putting your entire infrastructure in scope. But on the right, that's the smart approach. You use techniques like tokenization, where the sensitive card number gets replaced with a secure, non-sensitive token, and third-party vaults to make sure that raw card data never, ever touches your servers. This one decision massively reduces your scope, your effort, and your risk. Okay, so we get it. Keep your scope small. Now, how do we actually do that? Let's get into the practical steps. Think of this next section as the official playbook for building a secure and compliant app right from the ground up. Building a PCI-compliant app really rests on 4 key pillars. It all starts with a secure architecture, gets reinforced by secure coding practices, is protected by strong access controls, and then it's validated through continuous security testing. And here's the most important part. These are not sequential steps. This isn't a checklist. These ideas have to be integrated into your development lifecycle from day one. Let's start with Pillar 1, the blueprint of your app. A secure architecture is all about designing digital fortresses. This means using network segmentation to build walls that isolate the environments handling card data from everything else. This is critical because it contains any potential breach to one tiny area. It also means adopting a zero-trust model, where all data is encrypted in transit no matter what. And, like we've been saying, it means designing your systems with one primary goal: never touch raw card data. Another huge piece of this puzzle is access control. You can't protect what isn't locked down, right? And with the latest version, PCI DSS 4.0, the rules have gotten way stricter. We've moved past just worrying about password complexity. Now, multi-factor authentication, or MFA, is mandatory for any and all access into that cardholder data environment. This isn't a suggestion. It applies to your engineers, your admins, even your automated systems. No exceptions. So you've built the app, you've passed an audit, you're done, right? Not even close. And that brings us to our final critical mindset shift. Compliance isn't a one-time project you finish. It's a continuous cycle that actually enables your business to grow securely.
The best way to understand this is to see it as a continuous loop. You assess your systems for vulnerabilities, you remedy any gaps you find, you report your compliance status, and then you continuously monitor and maintain all of your security controls. The minute you add a new feature or change your infrastructure, guess what? That cycle begins all over again. It's a living, breathing process. So after all this, why go through all the effort? Well, the payoff is huge. Getting PCI compliance right from the start builds that essential customer trust we've been talking about. It makes you instantly partner ready for the big banks and enterprises who just won't work with non-compliant platforms. It lets you scale your business without hitting a wall and needing some expensive, time-consuming security rebuild. And ultimately, it turns security from a cost center into a true competitive advantage. And that really brings us to the final question you should be asking yourself and your team. Is your app being built for compliance, with security woven right into its DNA from the start? Or is compliance just some afterthought you're planning to bolt on at the very end? The answer to that question will very likely determine the long-term success and trustworthiness of your entire fintech product.